My name is Daniel Dominguez, and before I begin talking about my story and what I wanted to share with you today, I wanted to share a quote that I found to be very impactful by Helen Keller. So it goes like this: Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. And frankly, that doesn't sound very comforting at first, but from my experience and what I'm going to share to you today, I can verify that it's true. So today, I wanted to talk about how basically collapsing on the floor of my dorm where I used to go to school at Berkeley changed my life for the better. And having a brain disorder diagnosed ended up giving me essentially a second chance at finding happiness. So, what I wanted to share from the root of it all is that success for me has been changed completely. I used to root it in prestige and external validation, as well as high achievement and money and status. But for me now, it's with sustainability and being able to do something again and again every day, especially with the accommodation of my new impairments and disabilities. So, the main turning point of this was on my birthday of last year, which led to me transferring out and eventually to going to DH, where I don't think I've ever felt more supported and primed for success than I ever have in my life. But before we get into all that, I want to take it back to the summer of 2025, in which I had just finished my first semester of UC Berkeley. And by all means, it seemed to be successful. I had gotten A's in all of my classes. I was attending what was one of the prestigious universities in the world, and I was studying something that I thought would be of great importance to humanity, which was artificial intelligence and computer science, as well as neuroscience. But if you peel back that, every day I was coming home from classes exhausted, completely collapsed on the ground. I would spend 9 hours a day in my dorm room just studying. I had no friends whatsoever because all of my time was dedicated to that. And I didn't know any of my professors either. For those of you that don't know, at UC Berkeley, you're not graded according to how well you do. You're graded relative to the rest of your peers. So if everyone fails and one person fails slightly less, they get the A. And there's only a limited amount of A's available in each class. And mind you, each class has about 500 students each. So it's an extremely competitive environment. It's not conducive to learning, in my opinion. And I had never felt more isolated and demanded in my life, frankly speaking. So the culmination of this peaked on August 7th, my birthday, when I was hospitalized. And it was found that I had brain lesions in my brainstem. This wasn't a surprise to me, as I had already wanted to stay home due to being so exhausted and having unexplainable pain and nerve pain. But it turned out to be much worse than I thought, in being multiple sclerosis. So having a disease that will progress over time, as it is right now, affecting my mobility and cognition, was very hard to process in the moment, and I felt that my life was ruined. It's because of this that I wanted to transfer, and I moved over to Dominguez Hills. And I wanted to be closer to my family, to my healthcare team, but I still felt that I was cheating myself out of a better future by going to a more prestigious institution like UC Berkeley. But I turned out to be completely wrong. At DH, all of my professors check in on me. They all know of my situation. They all want to support me. I've never had an issue of them not communicating back to me. And I've never been surrounded by more peers who I can relate to, personally speaking, and who inspire me with their stories, and who genuinely want to make an impact on the community rather than making as much money as physically possible, which is something you'll see a lot of in the Bay Area. And the peak of this resolution for me was when I won the AIR competition here at the Innovation Incubator. It was for renewable energy ideas and startup ideas, and I was fortunate enough to have won after months of preparation, research, and creating a website for it. For me, this personally was a huge validation and that I made the right decision, because The Silicon Valley atmosphere of UC Berkeley is so competitive, and there are so many billions of dollars being thrown around up there that I thought I'd never succeed, especially someone like me from my background who had no experience prior or any connections to venture capital or anything of that sort. So, again, to reiterate, I believe that transferring to Dominguez Hills has been the best thing that ever happened to me and happened at the perfect time. I've never needed the support more than ever. I've never needed to be around grounded and caring people more than ever. And DH has given me that and then some. And I feel extremely indebted to it. And every day, as the challenges of my disease grow, whether it's in thinking speed or memory or movement, I still find that I'm able to look back on this past terrible summer as a very much second rebirth of my life. And I want to say that to all of you, that success is about what you can keep consistently doing every day, day in and day out, that makes you happy and fulfilled, above just making money and trying to impress others. And that we're fortunate enough to find ourselves in such an institution that rewards community building and rewards people who genuinely care. And thank you for listening to me. I have told you my story of going from the top of what I thought was the world at Berkeley, working so hard to transfer there from community college, to now being a part of Carson in Dominguez Hills, which is where I live and go to school, and how I can't wait to see what else I can do and what else DH offers for me and for the rest of us, and to keep on keeping on. There's always an opportunity anywhere you go, as long as you stay true to yourself and true to your health, because all of our bodies are just loans at the end of the day that we'll eventually have to pay back. But in the meantime, let's maximize the time we have and the abilities and health that we have. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a great rest of your day and summer.